All right, welcome back to Start Your Day. She will be forever known as the Queen of Soul. You know who it is, from her music to her impact on social justice. The late, great Aretha Franklin was a force to be reckoned with in many ways. And this Black History Month, a tribute to her honoring the music legend is moving across North America. Stephanie Bertini spoke to the man who created it.
Multi-Grammy winner and music legend Aretha Franklin. Her voice, her hits, and her impact over decades honored in a tribute music tour created and headlined by artist Damien Sneed.
I wanted to do something to give tribute to the major mogul that she was in America.
Sneed's admiration for Franklin is professional and personal. Near the end of her career and her life, they were very close. He says she was a great mentor.
Aretha was looking for somebody to teach her classical piano, and she heard that I had worked on faculty at the Juilliard School in New York City, and she wanted me to give her lessons.
Sneed is a musician, conductor, composer, producer, and educator. His resume and reach in the industry is wide. After Aretha Franklin lost her life to cancer, he zeroed in on this passion project. The Aretha Franklin tribute tour is traveling the United States and making its way into Canada. Sneed is collaborating with composer and actress Valerie Simpson, known well for her work on the film The Bodyguard, and Grammy Award-winning gospel singer Karen Clark Sheard. Franklin was so much more than just a superstar in the music world. She was committed to social justice, making a mark in the civil rights movement.
So Aretha was someone who grew up at her home with people like Dinah Washington and Ella Fitzgerald and the great James Cleveland, and all these phenomenal musicians coming to her house, coming to hear these meetings about civil rights, coming to hear them thinking about how they were going to boycott peacefully with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Sneed says the goal of the show is to bring all the elements of Aretha Franklin's career together. For him, the show is a great source of pride. I'm Stephanie Bertini for Start Your Day.
All right, you better seen that. She was amazing, of course. Talking about some R-E-S-P-E-C-T. And the guy you saw in the piece, he is amazing as well. Damien Sneed, he joins us now to give us a little more education on the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Good morning to you, man. I'm excited about seeing this. I hope it comes out here to L.A. I understand the tour kicked off last week in Florida. I see you down in Alabama right now. You had a concert last night. First of all, how's it going so far?
It's going well. We had a phenomenal concert last night here in Alabama. Just kicking off, we're going to California, Toronto, in Canada, and all across the North American continent. So it's going to be very exciting.
I can't wait to see it then if it comes out here. It's close by and my schedule allows me to see it. So when you do come out there, obviously it's great music. It's Aretha Franklin. Can't go wrong with that. But what do you hope fans will experience by attending?
Well, after all of us being separated and sequestered at home, a lot of people have been nervous about coming back into the concert hall. But I put together music that everybody will enjoy: classical music, gospel music from the church, R&B, soul music, blues, everything that Aretha Franklin showed and performed in her career. But I really hope people can come together understanding that music is a universal language and it unifies us, especially in times like this with so much political disparity and racial tension, and just people needing to come together as one. This music representing an icon like Aretha Franklin, who stood up for civil rights and stood up to give voice to those who didn't have a voice. I think it's very apropos and very timely.
We'll get into the political aspect in just a second, but Aretha, obviously, she gave us a lot. She taught us a lot, but one thing you can say is that you actually taught her. As we saw in the piece, she hired you to teach her classical piano. She was also a mentor to you. But what's the greatest lesson she's ever given you that you still carry on today, that you pass down to others?
I think one of the greatest lessons that I received from Aretha Franklin, it was a personal text message that we kept going back and forth communicating, and she told me never to focus on my problems because there's always someone who may be experiencing something worse than what I've experienced. And that's really been very encouraging, that she was transparent enough to share her personal experiences, some of her ups and downs with me as her mentee. And that's one thing that I try to keep in the forefront, knowing that my gift is really to be poured out for other people. You know, a lot of people don't know what it takes to be a performing artist, to, as my mentor, Wynton Marsalis says, to bare your soul and testify. But Aretha Franklin was definitely the epitome of that. She was timeless. She lasted through so many generations, and everybody loved her. Everybody could feel her passion in her voice, in her playing, and everything about her.
Yeah, you know, and we love her music. Obviously, Queen of Soul, when she sings, you absolutely feel it. And I don't know if there's ever been a greater singer that had an impact on our culture as Aretha Franklin. She deserves the title as Queen of Soul, but I don't think one of the things that gets enough credit, that she gets enough credit for, is being the voice, the singing voice of that civil rights era. And I'm glad that a lot of people got a chance to see Jennifer Hudson in her movie Respect, because it talked about that, her relationship with her dad, who was a really good, close personal friend of Dr. Martin Luther King, and she was singing at these rallies. Is that something that you want to put out there a little bit more? We know about the music, but the political side and what she meant for our culture and for our people and our fight for equality.
Most definitely. As artists, I think it's our responsibility to not just have a component of social justice, but to actually be champions for social justice. She did do that very thing with her father, the late Reverend C.L. Franklin, and the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., traveling to marches. I'm in Alabama now. It was March of 1965, when the march was in this area where they were great luminaries like John Lewis, who helped to lead portions of the march. You know, that history has to be recanted and has to be told over and over again so that we don't forget our history. Because how can we move forward if we don't realize where we've come from, stand on the shoulders of those who are before us, and then actually deal with the reality of what we're facing right now to move forward positively?
Damien, we always talk about the you know, the speakers and the great leaders of our time, like Martin Luther King, but music has had such a great impact when it comes to us in our fight for equality and civil rights. We're talking about Mahalia Jackson, even James Brown back in the day did his part, Aretha Franklin, and even today when you hear about the rappers and some of the people out here who are a little bit more woke when it comes to our fight right now. So talk about the importance of music in our history when it comes to trying to find the rights that we rightfully deserve.
Music, words, over time, sometimes slowed down. It becomes something that a person can sing over and over in their head, even if they're not musically talented, so to speak. And I think sometimes the short messages that are in a chorus or that are in a melody or a counter melody or a harmony, those are the things that continue to speak to us and gives us the drive. You know, music is really what allowed so many of my ancestors, so many of my people, me growing up in Augusta, Georgia, you mentioned James Brown, where people still had to drink from colored fountains not so long ago, based on the color of their skin. You know, people who had to worry about the right to vote. And now that's why people have to understand the importance of us going out to the polls and voting and having a voice. You know, our people have been through a lot. Me as a Black man in America, you know, sometimes being an endangered species, dealing with all types of issues and all types of impedances that people try to place on me. But it's the music that sort of captures the sound of the era, the music that pushes people and encourages them to keep going no matter what they're facing.
Damien, I like you. I really do, man. And I want to support you. And I hope people come out and support this great tour that you have going on right now. Please do that. If you want to catch the Aretha Franklin tribute tour, visit DamienSneed.com. Damien, we appreciate you, man, for starting your day with us, and good luck on the rest of the tour.
Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it.